If you're a projector and you are diving deep into the subtle nuances of what it means to be a projector and waiting for the invitation, you are in the right place. As a projector, more than 10 years into my own human design experiment, I got so sick of seeing half-assed explanations of our human design strategy from people of other human design types or other projectors who were just repeating what they had been taught without experimenting and applying anything in their own life. You deserve better. We deserve better collectively as projectors. So on this channel at the moment, I am doing a creation binge exploring every different possible aspect of what it means to be a projector and wait for the invitation and what it really means in real life. So if that sounds good to you, let's look at today's question. This one came in as another comment on another YouTube video, and they said, Caroline, I'm wondering, did you get an invitation to learn the tapping modality? So you might know I'm a human design coach and a tapping practitioner. And if so, what did that look like? I've been wanting to learn some healing system, this person said, but I can't quite decide what, and I don't feel like I've had an invitation yet. Great question. So what I want to do in this video is I'll share the actual steps I went through in dot point version, so we're not here all day, and then I'm going to pull apart the lessons. So in 2009, a friend handed me a tiny pamphlet with the instructions to do the most basic version of EFT. I didn't really think anything of it until my high school reunion rolled around, and I was extremely anxious because I had been bullied so much at school. So I did this weird tapping thing and I followed the instructions on the pamphlet, and you know what? It worked. And because I was like pre-human design, pre-self-development, pre any real level of self-awareness as a 28-year-old at the time, I just shoved the pamphlet in a drawer and promptly forgot about it. Until 2015. I was living on the island of Bali. It was beautiful. I was trying very hard to grow my coaching business. I'd been less than a year into my human design experiment, and I was doing okay with like following my inner authority, but this strategy of wait for the invitation, I could not do it. I tried and I tried and I tried it just by mentally trying to make myself do it through willpower, through discipline. Couldn't do it. I could not do it. And suddenly this EFT thing came back to me out of nowhere. I was like, oh, maybe that thing will help. I have no idea how I forgot about it for 6 years and then it came back, but it did. And so from there, I did a bit of a deep dive. Now, keep in mind, I had like so little revenue from my business at that point. I was like, right, I have to work out how to learn this tapping thing for free. So I got on Gary Craig's website and I tried to learn it that way. At that point, I still didn't know about variables, which means I didn't know that I needed to learn auditorily. I needed to be able to hear to learn. So I was struggling with all these new concepts and all this new jargon, trying to read it off a freaking screen with all this text. So I ended up on a YouTube channel of a guy named Robert Smith. And if you're in the tapping world, you'll know that he is the founder of Faster EFT, or now known as Utaptics. And I spent months every night watching one of his videos, tapping along and just learning so much. So from there, that led me to find a wonderful practitioner that I worked with for years. So that took me from like early 2016 at that point to somewhere in 2018. And I had done so much at that point. I had integrated Faster EFT into my coaching practice with clients. But at some point I realized that I had found the gaps and the points with Faster EFT that were a no-go, that were a stop point for me. And at that point, I was actually curious to go back and explore EFT again. And by this stage, I had so much understanding, I could binge my way through all the text on Gary Craig's website. And so in my exploring of EFT, I knew now how to go and navigate my way around the world. So I watched videos, I listened to podcasts, I found every friggin' EFT master on the planet. And I learnt and I learnt and I searched. And eventually, in 2020, I decided to formally train and become a certified EFT practitioner. And that was because I had already found the trainer that my body said, ooh, her, she's your person, right? So I had a deep level of recognition. And this is really important, as when we think about it as projectors, we're often thinking about, oh, I need a true invitation that comes with this feeling of being recognized. But it's also for us when we're picking people to learn from, you have to ask yourself the question, do I recognize and value that person I'm about to invest my time, money, energy, attention with, right? So it goes both ways. So I had this trainer, her name is Jondi, who's humble and compassionate and funny and grounded and highly skilled master trainer. So I was like, okay, here's my person. And in that year, I grew personally and professionally so much. It added so much value to my life. And by the end of that year, I had already found the gaps and the limitations and the issues that I had with EFT that meant that I was not going to progress even further down that particular rabbit hole. Now, of course, in the time since then, I have explored even more teachers and even more different versions of tapping and layered in nervous system work and trauma healing work. And I will continue to do that. But if we come back to the question at hand, you've heard a basic rough outline of my story and how that process went. So the process, as I see it, as a projector in the healing arts, number one, someone, somewhere, at some point in time is going to open a door for you to go and explore something new. In my case, it was a friend who handed me a pamphlet about EFT with the basic instructions so that I could do it, right? That came out of nowhere. This is how true invitations will be unexpected. They will come out of nowhere and you'll be like, oh, what's this? This is interesting. Wow, I hadn't even thought of that. It was not on my radar. It did not occur to me that you could like tap into your energy field and shift stuff by doing this, right? No clue for 28-year-old Carolyn. So someone opened a door and that allowed for a brand new possibility in my life. This is the process for you as a projector, and it applies well beyond the healing art. It applies to everything. And then number two, you get to choose the people who you recognize and value. So while the door had been opened for me by my friend Brianna, I trusted my body when I found both Ilka, my faster EFT practitioner, and Jondi, my EFT trainer. And while I have learnt so many different versions of tapping from so many different experts in the last decade, I know the right people for me to continue learning with, because when I find them, my body is like, ooh, 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 here's your person, this person, listen to them, right? And I know that they're the people who are going to make the profound difference to my life and continue to open more doors for me that are going to lead me to do more of my soul's work. And it's true for you too as a projector. So if you feel called to do healing work with people, there may be one or more modalities that are right for you. It may not be tapping. I remember serving one client who reads auras, right? That's what he's trained in. And when I looked at his chart, it was freaking obvious that this was perfect for his design, but it wouldn't be correct for me at all, right? He's quite visual. I'm not, right? I recall another client who works as a sound healer. Perfect for her and her design. And she has this powerful vocal configuration that can literally help heal somebody else's energy field through the correct use of her powerful voice. That modality wouldn't have been correct for the last client that I mentioned or for me, and maybe it's not correct for you either. But here's the thing. Life will invite you into opportunities that are correct for you. Somewhere, someone is going to open up a door for you. And then it's up to you to notice where your body's leading you from there. If you found this video helpful and you can think of another projector, maybe they're in there for your friend circle or your professional circles, so another projector who would really benefit from this, can you share this video with them? You never know how much of a difference it might make. Otherwise, I'll pop some other videos on the screen here that might be really helpful for you as well as you come home to the power and beauty of your design.